There was a time when several .35 caliber cartridges ruled the big game hunting scene, dropping trophy animals with authority. Today, many of those once great rounds are fading into obscurity, headed for the same fate as the dodo bird. It is strange to think about how can cartridges that performed so well and had such loyal followings be on the verge of disappearing. You would expect that passionate hunters would still be taking them into the field, passing their rifles and their love for these calibers down through the generations. You would think a few dedicated shooters would keep them alive just out of tradition. The truth is straightforward. Ballistic performance has evolved. Advances in modern bullet design and powder technology have made it possible for smaller or more efficient cartridges to hit harder, fly flatter, and penetrate deeper than ever before. Back in the day, if you wanted to put a heavy-hitting round into a big bull moose or a charging bear, you reached for a .35 caliber in your favorite hunting rifle without hesitation. Today, there are other options with equal or better numbers, plus more availability. While some die-hards still swear by their .35s, younger hunters see them as outdated, harder to find, and simply unnecessary. What was once top tier now sits in the interesting but obsolete category. Number 5. .35 Remington. Born in 1906. The .35 Remington earned its place in the hearts of Northwoods deer hunters for delivering noticeably more punch than the .30-30 Winchester. While most folks associate it with lever-action rifles, this round was originally built for a semi-auto, the Remington Model 8. Unlike most lever gun cartridges, it used a rim that was flush with the base of the case. Its real claim to fame came when Marlin chambered the legendary .36 for it. Hunters in the Northeast loved how it could anchor a whitetail buck with one well-placed shot, delivering roughly 1,776 foot-pounds of energy from a 200-grain bullet moving around 2,080 feet per second at the muzzle. Load it with buffalo boar's hodder, offering a 220-grain bullet at 2,200 feet per second, and you are talking about roughly 2,364 foot-pounds of impact. That is serious authority. While it is not a .30-30, it certainly holds its own. There are still enough lever-action rifles chambered in this round to keep it alive for now, but its days of mainstream popularity are long gone. Number 4. .35 Wellen. Introduced in 1922, standardized in 1988. The .35 Wellen is a powerhouse, launching a 200-grain slug at a blistering 2,900 feet per second, enough to take on anything in North America, including massive Kodiak bears. A lot of folks mistakenly believe that Colonel Townsend Wellen himself designed it. In reality, it was James Vive Howe, another well-known gun writer, who created it and named it in Wellen's honor. This cartridge is nothing more or less than a .30-06 Springfield case necked up to hold a .358 caliber bullet. It might sound simple, but it is the most powerful non-magnum cartridge you can buy off the shelf. With Horney's Superformance load, you get that same 200-grain bullet at 2,900 feet per second, generating an impressive 3,760 foot-pounds of energy. In the right hands and with the right bullet, it will drop anything that walks the earth. Remington officially standardized it in 1988, and it has maintained a dedicated, almost cult-like following ever since. Still, outside of that loyal fan base, it never became a household name. Some states' deer hunting regulations have brought it back into the spotlight for use in single-shot rifles, but that is not enough to secure its long-term survival. Within a generation or two, the .35 Wellen will likely be more of a nostalgic conversation piece than a cartridge you actually see in the field. Number 3. .350 Remington. Magnum, 1965. The 350 Remington Magnum earned its reputation partly because it was a favorite of the legendary Jeff Cooper. Alongside its sibling, the 6.5 Remington Magnum, it was one of the first so-called short Magnum cartridges ever produced. It first saw action in Alaska, chambered in the featherweight Remington Model 600. Hunters up there got a rifle that was easy to pack all day, yet still had the muscle to drop anything from moose to bear. Of course, sending that much power through such a light rifle meant the recoil wasn't exactly gentle, but it was still very shootable. Cooper himself took a lion with this round from a custom scout rifle, which only added to its mystique. Despite its capability, the cartridge's commercial life faded fast barely a decade after launch. It was already disappearing from store shelves. Remington tried to breathe new life into it in 2002 by chambering the Model 673 guide gun for it, but that push never caught on. The cartridge itself is not the problem. It will drive a 225 grain bullet at about 2,550 feet per second, packing roughly 3,248 foot-pounds of energy. That is more than enough for anything in North America. If you're a fan, though, you had better hand load, because finding fresh factory ammo is like spotting a unicorn. Number 2. 358 Winchester 1955. Back in its day, the 358 Winchester showed up in some excellent rifles, everything from Winchester's Model 88 lever gun and Model 100 semi-auto to Ruger 77s and Browning's BLR. It was essentially a 308 Winchester case necked up to take a 358 caliber bullet, intended as a modern successor to the older 348 Winchester. Compared to the 35 Remington, the 358 offered more muscle in a short action package. Its big moment came when Winchester chambered both the Model 88 and the Model 100 for it. Though those rifles are long gone from production, Browning's BLR and a handful of Ruger 77s could also be had in this caliber. Performance-wise, it could drive a 250 grain slug at around 2,200 feet per second, hitting with roughly 2,686 foot-pounds of force. Impressive numbers, but eventually, the 338 Federal, another necked-up 308, took its market share and never gave it back. You can still locate factory ammo if you hunt for it, but the cartridge's glory days are past. If you own one, the smart move is to stockpile components and learn to reload. Casting your own bullets wouldn't hurt either. Number 1. 356 Winchester 1982. The 356 Winchester was designed specifically for the Winchester Model 94 lever action, but the odds were stacked against it from the start. Introduced in 1982 alongside the 307 Winchester, the idea was to refresh sales of the Model 94 by giving it new rimmed cartridges based on the 308 Winchester case. The 356 was essentially a rimmed 358 Winchester, giving up maybe 50 to 100 feet per second in velocity. The problem? Almost nobody cared. Within less than 10 years, it was fading fast, and among the 35 caliber crowd, it has the slimmest shot of ever making a comeback. If you happen to own one, the advice is simple: buy up all the ammo you can find and get very good at reloading it, because factory production is hanging by a thread. So there you have it, 5 once respected 35 caliber workhorses that have either vanished or are on the brink. Would you pull one of these out of the safe for a hunt, just for nostalgia's sake?